Hello, I'm Get the Cans, and it's been a while since I made an actual video. My most recent couple of videos were responses to videos or responses to responses to videos, so you know, this is a off-the-cuff actual video, not just simply a video essay. Though I would have to say in my defense of the previous ones where I did basically read off a page for the video that I was trying to express my point of view in an argument as specifically as I could in order to prove my point, and there wasn't a whole lot of room to be talking off the cuff. The first thing I would like to cover is that my research project, which I have stated on my user page on YouTube, is coming along steadily. I'm getting some information. A couple people sent me a couple things, and I'm trying to compile them and back them up and verify the sources as best I possibly can. And things are coming along pretty smoothly. I'm not gonna, it's not gonna be this huge, cool, epic thing, but it's gonna be as concise as I can possibly make it, so that hopefully someone can learn something from it. And I don't think I'm gonna even bother releasing it until I'm happy with it. The second thing is DarthTrayal leaving and coming back. When we had the debate, I was actually really surprised when he had a response to my response to his to his video, writing for a penny a word, where basically he was trying to say, what would the effect of the L. Ron Hubbard, if you want to make $1 million, start a cult, start a religion quote, what effect that would have on Scientology, and I responded in a way, and he responded back, and he used some information and cited some sources, and basically challenged me to really back up what I had to say, whether or not this quote even existed, paraphrasing, and so I worked really, really, really hard for a while, and finally came up with something, and you'll have to see that in that other video. This is this video, anyways. So he left apparently because some anonymous people had been singling him out for some reason, and he felt as though his safety was threatened, and I completely understand if he left under those circumstances. If the safety of the people I knew were threatened in any way, then I would take steps to try to protect them. It's perfectly natural. We're all human beings, and we're social creatures, and we take care of our own. Otherwise, we're just no better than animals. And then he came back, apparently because he doesn't want to be cowed, or however put it on his page, to get cowed from speaking his mind. I understand that I like to say that he expresses his views that Scientology is a good thing and all this other stuff, and I'm not quite convinced, but I do respect him that he now expresses his views in a more legitimate and a more legitimate way, using facts. His most recent video, tearing apart a pamphlet because it didn't cite any sources, perfectly legitimate. I was kind of upset that he, that one of our pamphlets wasn't that great, that somebody had made. But if they weren't responsible enough to cite their sources, then in all honesty, it wasn't a very good pamphlet. It doesn't actually teach the person anything. It just simply feeds them propaganda, and it's improper when you're trying to campaign against something that uses misinformation and secrecy and so on. Anyways, DarthTrayal, nice seeing you again. Okay, Scientology and Anonymous. I'm seeing a lot more of Scientology Anonymous in the news. People are talking about it more. It's really weird, just walking along, and it doesn't happen a whole lot, but the fact that it does happen every once in a while with someone to be talking about Anonymous or Scientology or whatever, it just kind of blows my mind. It's really starting to, it's one of those things that people talk about. It's not shuffled under the carpet no more, under the radar for the COS. So that's kind of interesting that the information is really starting to get out there, and people are starting to get the idea that maybe this should be something they should be concerned about. I'm also seeing a lot more slander online, people talking badly about other people, one side slinging mud to the other. It's kind of ridiculous, but it's expected. It's the internet. It's anonymous. Even the COS that goes on there are essentially anonymous themselves when they post, because they don't necessarily have to be, they have to have their face attached to what they're saying, or their name, or whatever. But, I would like to see, if you want to say anything at all, that I would request that you should at least try to say something specific, something legitimate, maybe back it up a little bit. Saying just simple insults is ridiculous, like insulting the side, whatever issues you may have with them, that's fine, but it's just not constructive, and it simply gives them more ammo. You sling mud to them, they sling it back, and it goes back and forth, and it becomes this big, huge mess. Let's see here. More people are speaking on the internet. A few more faces in my usual lurking places, and that's nice, and that's good. More people speaking out against, the organization, and that's great. I love seeing that. Watched one of CrazyDelaney's videos recently. If you haven't seen CrazyDelaney, totally see him up. Totally check him out. You should be able to search Anonymous to Scientology to be able to find some of his videos. He stated in one of his videos that that somebody had accused him of being non-objectional, or not being objectional, and I would like to basically add on to what he said there by saying that despite me personally trying to say what I have to say by backing it up with my information as much as possible, I still have a goal that I really want people to see the organization, the management of the Church of Scientology, to get exposed for what they're doing, and for some reform to get in there, because I need to know that these people that are in there, like, there are things that are being done to the parishioners and the critics that are completely unacceptable, and basically my goal is to try to bring those to light, or at least try to interest people so that they do their own research and figure these things out. So I would have to say that I'm not objectional, and I have a bias, but I will try to back up my argument with as many facts as I possibly and humanly can, and the more facts that I can get, the better. Even if Scientology is listening to this right now, if you got, send me some links through my, message box or whatever. I'm here to learn. I need to know what I'm going up against and what they're doing or whatever. But whatever. Just anybody wants to send me information. I would love to hear it. I'm all about learning. Let's see. Anon is being attacked by Scientologists at protests, flash raids, and things like that. Things where people would do chalk on the sidewalks, and Scientologists apparently would be coming out there to wash the chalk off, but they wouldn't wait until the Anonymous get out of the way, and they would splash them and get their legs, clothing, all that sopping wet, and they would have this disgusting chalk everywhere, and then Anonymous would write chalk again, and they would come out with another bucket and splash everybody with water. I'm not exactly sure what the hell is going on here, but things like this are happening apparently more often now. There was even an alleged account of an Anonymous going inside of an org to get one of those free DVDs apparently that they're handing out, and what happened is the door was locked behind him as soon as he got into the org. He was restrained, and the police was called, and apparently, according to the Scientologists, he was threatening them, etc., etc., and he had to be taken away, and he was put under citizen's arrest. I'm not even sure if citizen's arrest even exists in Canada anymore. From what I understand, it's called unlawful confinement if I ever tried to stop anybody from doing anything or going anywhere. But anyways, this video's got to come to a close. Final words. A person can say whatever they want to say. This is one of the greatest freedoms ever. Even though you can say what you want, however, you still need to bear the burdens of being responsible for what you say. The message you pass on is only as true as you can prove.